Just had my coffee. Game plan for today. Turn signals off, headlights out, doors off, start cutting the glass out to make the shell lighter. So when we lift the body off the frame, it's easier to deal with, right? So let's go ahead, and these are gonna get scrapped because we are doing the delete. Auto has these brand new for $15 each. So there's no point in reusing them, but I'm gonna keep it all together. If I end up needing that screw, I can at least match it up with one, and I know what size I need. This is our first, oh, yeah, well that's gone now. We have our Rubbermaid container. We're just gonna be packing everything in there. Zzz, zzz. The sealed beam, all right. And that's ours. Same thing, one screw. And that's our prize. Should have done that earlier. So check this out. Camera fell while I was trying to unscrew this from underneath, and then I popped it apart, unplugged it correctly, and I gave it a little bit of a tug, and that's what came out. Nice. Okay, what do we got here? These look like 13s. Big, since I am solo, I have this big sponge here I used to lay down on it at times. So I'm going to stick it between the windshield and the actual hood. That way when I unbolt it and it drops, it doesn't mess anything up. There we go. It's on the gantry. A couple zip ties holding it up. Good enough. Back over here. Front of the car. Fred Flintstone, right? You can see my foot through. So I'm going to have to patch that up. This is all, you know, just cobbled together. Radio wires, you know, everything is a freaking mess. Rat's nest. So that's why I'm rewiring the whole car. So, hood's off, fenders are next. Let's get it. The car itself, this area feels fairly solid. So this area is going to need some reinforcing. Of course, the front nose. This gasket, I have new ones, so that's trash. The fender, the headlight bucket, it's all rotted. That front piece, it was oversized. It's torn in because of the bumper brackets being loose. So I think I might go for the new fenders, but makes the most sense. The hood's in good shape. A little bit of sanding in here. Nothing's rotted. This is all surface rust. So we're good there. Let's take this side off next. Fender is off. Came apart same as the other side. Other than two of these welded nuts inside, they spun off. So I put them in my little hardware bag, and we'll tack weld them back on when we're doing welding on the body. This side doesn't have to be too worked over compared to that side. Not bad at all. We'll be reusing this fender. The fender on that side's off. Everything's here laying in a pile. We're going to go ahead and slide the gantry over. Hopefully these measurements were correct, and it does actually clear everything. Yeah, it works perfect. Everything clears. Nice and tight, so we're not wasting space with it. I'm happy. Now the next day, we've recharged, had some sleep. We're going to go ahead and pull these doors off. Doors off in 3, 2, 1, and there you go. Doors are off. So this side here, we just unbolted it right from the car. The other side, you can see part of the hinge is still there because the pins were a pain in the ass. They didn't want to come out. So I had to take the grinder to it. I torched it, air hammered it, did everything. I could not get these pins out. So we went ahead, took the grinder, sliced it, then used the air hammer and pounded it the rest of the way through. And took the door off that way. So we're going to have to replace these hinges. You can see the remnants of doing that. It's all part of working on an old car. This thing caught a lot of sexy time on the seat. First seat's out, I'm gonna lift it, toss it over there, and then we'll take the driver's seat out as well. So seat number 2 is out. So we got all this stuff apart, all the speakers, the seat belts, everything's labeled. There we go, that's the passenger side, right? Over here we have the hardware, seat belts, right? So all the hardware's together. We're gonna pull the windshield. I just started a cut right here, and it looks like it's gonna be pretty easy. Probably not the wise thing to say, because it always ends up being bad when we say these things. Alright guys, we just set this down on some cardboard. I'm just gonna tape it up so it's a little bit protected. Looks like shit, but the glass is protected. That's all we care about. So we can stick this somewhere back in here for now. We're gonna fast forward here. I'm just gonna pull the knife here and cut the last 3 pieces of glass out of it, the rear glass, 2 side windows, and we'll get back to you when the car is glassless. So all these speaker wires, we're gonna fucking just cut them. This doesn't look too good, I'll be honest with you. That looks rotted as hell. Great hammer, right? Alright, and the tank is ours. I disconnected the battery. We're gonna have a field day. I'm gonna cut all these freaking wires right now. I don't care what the Volkswagen schematics look like. All I need are the switches to be operational, the gauges, and so on. So all this stuff's getting cut. That's all cut. Good. So we've cleaned up a bunch in here. I took the speedometer cable off too, and we had the camera off. Next up is going to be unhooking the steering shaft, and then I believe that's it. I do know that wiring harness comes from underneath. I'm just going to cut it inside the car and pull it up. Hopefully the fuel line's far enough away. Good. So that wire most likely goes to the starter. The ground strap goes to the body. Everything else is going to be gonzo anyway. Pull the string around. Bigger than a 24. Probably a 27. Let me get that. Wow. Probably the easiest part of the car that came out. So stay tuned. I'm going to clean this up and go have something to eat. And we'll call it here for today.